Hart, Amador County Animal Response Team.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
How you doing?
Good seeing you.
Nice to see you.
When I started this time last year at the Union,
Yeah?
Tracy Berkner says, we've got a fundraiser for ACART. I'm like, awesome. What the heck is ACART? Had no idea. Oh, they help animals. Okay. I had no idea, and especially after all of this, I really understand and realize how important you guys are.
Thank you.
I'm amazed at the stuff that went down over the last couple of weeks, and all the people that came to the aid of so many animals, so many people who were missing animals. It was amazing to me.
Yeah. Just to give you a brief recap or some numbers, and that is that we sheltered and returned to the rightful owners 447 animals in the 12 days of the Butte Fire.
That's amazing. And it was all at the fairgrounds?
All at the fairgrounds, the entire operation. We shared the fairgrounds with CAL FIRE, who was kind enough to allow us to use their kitchens, their showers, their facilities. You know, that was a big help. And then Troy out there at the fairgrounds, he was there every day, wanted to know if we needed panels or anything else. I think the thing that needs to be said at this point is we were successful because of the people that helped us.
Absolutely.
You know, in other words, everybody in Amador County kicked in. The amount of donations and food supplies and clothing and everything else was terrific. The animal shelter staff was instrumental in, of course, getting animals back to people, helping us out. The animal shelter also has a volunteer group. And that volunteer group kicked in and was really helpful in what we call as our fur and feathers section, which is all small animals, and dogs, cats, rabbits. We had a 650-pound sow out there.
That's a lot of bacon.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. And so all of those folks. We also had help from a neighboring organization, which is SCLAR, South County Large Animal Rescue. So those first folks were coming over from El Dorado County, and they were helping us out, helping us with the animals, getting the animals in, getting the animals out. So a lot went into this, and it's what happens when you have an organization like ours, which is ACART, which is networked with neighboring organizations. I saw a question in your face there.
So how did this all come about? Somebody obviously said we need to fill a need here, and you're somehow connected to the animal shelter, correct?
Right. We operate under the auspices of the animal shelter in Amador County. It does a couple of things for us. Number one is that it gives us the training that we need to be certified.
Because you have to be certified to work with ACART.
To work with ACART, you have to be certified. You don't have to be certified with other groups, and God love them for being out there because there was a heavy load to pull.
Oh my gosh.
You know, when you start talking about us having 447 animals, you had a tremendous number of people that had extra space at their ranch.
Sure.
You know, and that networking over Facebook is what happened. Okay, there you're kind of rolling a dice a little bit because you're leaving your animal with someone else.
Well, imagine having to get out. You got 3 minutes, 10 minutes to get out of your house. You're grabbing your kids, your spouse, your, any valuables, memorabilia, your kids' pictures. Some people don't take their animals with them.
Some people don't. And let's bring this point up, and that is it's a little known fact that most people don't realize. The Sheriff's Department comes through and said, we have an advisory evacuation for you. Okay? That's the time to go ahead and start moving your valuables, moving your kids, and moving your animals. When they come through and say it's a mandatory evacuation, the only thing, and it's one direction, it's one direction, which is out, and the only thing you can do is your car. Right. You can't haul your animals out at that point in time.
It's too late.
Unless they're in the car. It's too late. They're going to have to stay. We do a lot of outreach. We have a lot of materials available on our website, AmadorAnimalResponse.org, that will help you plan for the next disaster. And there will be another one.
Oh, I think this was a wake-up call for a lot of people.
This is a real wake-up call. And I'll tell you what, we got shot at last year by the sand fire, which we ran a shelter for. That bullet kind of went to the left and went to El Dorado County. We got shot at this year, and it went to the right and went to Calaveras County. Let's just say it's going to happen again, and everybody should be prepared, have a good plan of attack to get out of Dodge, shall we say.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are going, man, we need to have an escape plan. We need to have a plan of attack when something like this happens? Because let's face it, we live in an area heavily wooded,
Yes.
very dry, and we're not even into the, if I understand this correctly, the fire season really doesn't end till October sometime.
This year it probably won't end until closer to Thanksgiving.
Crazy.
Simply because of the fuel moisture that's out there.
Yeah.
That all comes from part of our training too, which is because we work with CAL FIRE and the rest of that. The fuel moisture load is so low this year, it's unbelievable. So there's a lot of things coming up. But having run a successful operation, having worked our tails off, not tooting my own horn because I didn't put in the most hours. I dropped 117 hours in on this project in 12 days. We were 12s on and 12 offs. It was exciting. But having done all of that, now it's time for a little celebration. Number one, which we're going to have at the Union. Yeah, a little celebration there. The second being, it's an opportunity for us to raise some funds because we went through a lot of supplies.
Oh, I imagine, absolutely.
Every horse that you set up requires a water bucket, a feeding bucket, requires halters, requires lead ropes. All of those things we supply.
Now,
and we supply those by donation.
and I didn't have the opportunity to get over there. We actually called, a bunch of us from the union went down and volunteered. You guys were the first ones we called. We wanted to get in there, and they said, you have to, unfortunately, we'd love to help, but you have to be certified.
Right.
What exactly does that entail?
The certification process for us is an understanding of the OCS system. Or there's a course called ICS 100. It just explains how a disaster is broken down and managed. It's a real easy course. It takes about 2 hours. It's an online thing. You take a test online. It spits you out a certificate. That's number one. Number two is that there is a complete background check on every one of our members. We don't want anybody that's been convicted of animal molestation or
Cruelty of
anything
any
else,
kind,
cruelty, any of that sort of stuff in our mix, because you're in control of someone else's property.
Sure.
They're animals, and
Sure.
their most valuable property.
In a time where they're very, very much under stress and duress. And,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
The things that they are. And we have some of the best, shall we say, horse handlers, which I'm not, in there. And they take a look at it. And between them and the vets, we decide what type of sheltering we're going to do. We've had some animals that we moved 2 or 3 times to get them comfortable. In other words, every animal doesn't come in off the ranch and go into a stable, go in there and just react normally. They're going to react differently. And how do you get them calmed down? We have people that walk the horses, and they develop a bond with the horse, so that the horse then realizes that this is my new home. Temporary though it may be,
Sure.
You're trying to get them all back to normal. A lot of different functions, and that's the third part of being certified, and that is to have an amount of training in the specialty that you do.
hands-on.
Hands-on. We send people down to work at the shelter so that they get to work with cats, dogs. You work under the shelter staff. They get trained in that. So when the time comes, that you'll have some elemental information on how to
Sure.
do it. And then most of it, to be honest with you, is on-the-job training.
Yeah.
There's nothing more exciting and nothing more frightening than working a disaster.
Yeah, no doubt. Clearly, this is probably one of the biggest single events that you've had to deal with. But what other things? You said the sand fire was a big one. And did you have to deal with any animals from Calaveras County, or is it just Amador County?
We handled both counties. And the reason for that is the way the fire transitioned. It cut across Highway 26, which means everybody that was in West Point, Wilseyville, and in that area could only come across the bridge and come up Defender Grade and get to 88. Okay, for them to go back to the shelter that was established in Angels Camp was virtually impossible.
Plus,
so they came
plus
over to
much
us.
farther away.
Oh yeah, a lot further away. And so those folks that were on the other side of the fire went to the Calaveras, to the Angels Camp Fairgrounds. They have a group over there, which is the Calaveras Animal Disaster Group, and they had managed that particular shelter. Again, being certified, insured, and background checked people.
Sure.
Which is what we push a lot. because that's where I'd want to take my animal.
Sure, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we've got 2 minutes left. Let's talk about Monday. Got a big event.
Monday, a big event. The merchants were terrific, Ed. You're going to see $2,000 worth of raffle items on your front porch.
Yes.
Yes.
And I won. I won last year. I won like 3 things. I got a heater, which I used because it was freezing in Volcano last year.
Yeah.
So lots of great items.
Lots of great items.
From 5 to 8, every time somebody comes in and eats at the Union on Monday night, a portion of that goes to you, but the big money is going to be in the raffle.
In the raffle. The big money is always in the raffle, and we will have 2 levels on the raffle this year. We're going to have a lower level raffle for, people that can afford that, and we're going to have a higher level raffle with some bigger items.
Sure.
So we'd love to have everybody come out, join us, and have some fun and celebrate and meet us and pat us on the back. We need it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys did a great job. ACART, Amador County Animal Response Team fundraiser this Monday from 5 to 8 at the Volcano Union Inn. If you need more information, you can call the Union 296-7711, or you can go to your website, which is
AmadorAnimalResponse.org. Or on Facebook, it's just ACART.
Just ACART. Are you on Facebook?
We're on Facebook, baby.
Right,
I got to tell you, we're social. We're socially connected.
That's awesome. Who's not on Facebook? I want to meet that person.
There is one out
Tom
there someplace.
Slivick is not on Facebook.
Well, Tom's got so many local contacts that he doesn't need to be on Facebook. Everybody's got his home phone number.
It's Tom Book. It's a new social media, Tom Book. We'll be right back. Mike, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ed.
We'll be right back, everybody.
Absolutely.